Hi, welcome back to the O gauge room, shall we say, layout? I don't know, whatever, O gauge, we're back. So yeah, last few weekends, for those who follow me on Insta will know, and you might have picked up on YouTube a little bit, I was at the Great Central Railway and their Railways at Work Gala, which was a really enjoyable day. Never done that before. I think they're not doing it next year. I think they're having a rest from it, but I will say I did enjoy it, and if they do it again, I highly recommend it. And last weekend, of course, I was back on my moors. A bit of a tornado there together with also the awful wildfire that isn't too far away from the moors, so which has been affecting their steam services on and off, which hopefully this weekend they've got some rain and all the efforts of the farmers and the firefighters, it's back under control, hopefully. So this is the last weekend of August. It's the last weekend of #TeamWater. And so I thought I was quite keen, because nothing has changed since the canal, despite me saying I was keen to push on. However, I thought this is the weekend where I can push on, do a little more. Now, for those on Instagram that were following a few of my stories before my trip to the moors, I was hoping to call into TMC and pick up some paint sprays I'd ordered. Thank you to Pete Gundle, who suggested Max Sleeper Grime, like to make this look more realistic. And the dirty sort of LMS theme I was going for, I think he put in the comments that he messaged me on Instagram to say this is the stuff which will do a nice job and stuff it looking so plasticky, shiny, fake. So I'd ordered it from TMC along with something else that I wanted, thinking, and with 3 weeks to spare, you know, so not like last minute. And it was like, oh yeah, pre-order, you know, it'll probably take a couple of days for paint, as it usually does, no problem. Leading up to 2 weeks past, 2.5 weeks past, leading up to, you know, the Friday I was getting there, and ring them up. Oh, that's really strange. We've took the money off you too, and it's really strange it took so long. We'll chase it up and call you back. Yeah, I think I lost the telephone because they didn't call back. So next day, ring again. Because meantime, I was starting to get a bit twitch on it, because I thought that's holding me up now. I do want to do it. I thought it was a good idea from you, Pete. Thank you. And I thought, I need this now, kind of. And I found House Models, apparently the oldest model shop in the country, in Oxford, in stock. No problem. Put the order in on the Thursday that I was going to the moors, thinking, oh well, that'll turn up after bank holiday. Well, can I just say how super efficient they are? They packed it up, shipped it, and they wanted to deliver it on Friday though. I was like, no. So I had to like delay with the carrier, but fantastic service. Everything I wanted, no problem. Didn't take 3 weeks, didn't take my money and then have to ring and chase to get my money back. That is another subject. So yes, that was the saga with what happened. And you see, I don't know, the thing is with me as well, they must have their reasons, but as we all know, since last year, TMC have stopped opening on Saturday. Now, to me, that's got to be your busiest day of the week. So maybe they don't want people in the shop anymore. Who knows? Anyway, we move on. That started when I started talking about issues and whatever. I must admit, it opened a big can of worms on Instagram. So I think we'll move swiftly on, or dare I say, the comments will be full of probably problems you're having too, so we'll leave that there. So anyway, what I did want to do today was get outside, because apparently this makes one hell of a mess, and as I can be a bit heavy-handed, shall we say, with things, I had visions of spraying the canal, as well as the tracks, the board, the walls, everything. So I thought Team Darling could come into their own here. I'll get the packaging off Darling, put it on the back lawn, track on, away we go. The weather had other ideas. So it's raining here, has been for most of the day. I'm hoping tomorrow it might not be. Failing that, I'm going to have to come up with a plan B, and that will either be spray in situ and hope for the best and try and be a little lighter in the touch. Or perhaps spray paint the garage. I mean, the walls could probably do a coat of paint, you know, so either way, spraying is going to happen tomorrow, one way or the other. So we'll be masking up. Apparently that's recommended. So I might have a balayage hair tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, so we're not doing that. So I'm going to get this rather lovely fine turf that I got when I went to Chester Model Centre at the start of the month. Had a little shopping list there, things I went to look at. Because I often think, yes, you can buy some stuff online, it's fine. But for things like looking at colours, like I did see this particular, which is called fine turf. I did see it online, but some of the pictures, and dare I say, I think TMC were one of them, it looked very greeny. I mean, it is called fine turf, so people would think, okay, well, shouldn't it be green? Well, no. You see how dark? And that is the sort of colour I'm looking for, because what I want to do is these areas here, if you remember, I want them quite dirty, soily. I know a few of you have said, well, maybe you should have like loading areas for the canal, maybe you should have cobbles, maybe you should have like a slate kind of area. No, I understand what you're saying, and yes, if I was just making up a canal area, which would have been probably typical of its time, then yes, quite agree. However, this canal, don't forget, is based on the kind of Peaky Blinder era, and so the canal edging and kind of imaging I'm going for is very similar to that one for those who've ever been to the Black Country Museum. So they don't have like cobbles or slabs or anything like that in that area that was used for a lot of the filming in the original TV series. It is dirt with bits of weed and grass and whatever. So, and that's what I'm trying to replicate because I want it to look pretty similar. I have got some figures which are going to pop up in a later video which I've sourced, where I've sourced them from, so I'll show you those. I need to paint them, so I want to get them painted and then I'll reveal those to you. So it's time now. Obviously this is happening hopefully tomorrow now, one way or the other it's going to happen. And so now let's get some dirty turf down. Where's my clicker gone? Right, catching. So quickly back again. What I'm actually thinking, I've just had one of my moments so far. So I'm going to do a very quick, I think, go live session now, which makes no sense at all to this video, but what I will do is keep that very brief and short, and I'll cut back to recording for this. For those of you again on Insta or who may have seen last night with the Friday night, probably won't be last night you'll see this, with the double O running. Yeah, I'm under a lot of pressure from Hamza, if you're watching, who's my creative support manager for the summer. Like, he's got me in this summer boot camp of things like do this, do that, do this. And he set me these targets to go live 3 times. Originally it was by the end of August, and I think he's very kindly extended it to 10th of September. But I thought, you know, me being me, okay, let's go for it. So last night I had some. Now I'm going to do a quick paint session, which is going to be like watching glue dry. So, so you're not missing anything. Those who are tuning in now to this, where you missed whatever this crazy little live thing is going to be in a minute. So we'll cut there. I'm going to cut to the live and then cut back to record some of this. Right, so here we go. So we had a little switch to a little live session there, which fortunately I think only a handful of you had to suffer. I like to keep doing these little unannounced things. I know I've had messages from people saying, oh, you should have told us, you should have warned. I think more warned, not told, warned. That it was happening. But no, spontaneous, that's what you want, just creep up, take people by surprise. Yes. So all you basically missed, if you haven't seen that part, is I've put some glue down, painted it along this stretch, and now I'm just hand sprinkling some dirt down. I mean, I don't want it uniformed. I want it quite very similar to how I did my double O, like where it's very hand finished, very hand textured. I will put in places some greenery, I think. I'm actually wondering if I might have been better as well putting like a base layer down. So what I did on the double O, I used tissue paper, which I bought in various colours like browns and greens and silvers, and I'm actually wondering whether I might have been better off putting some, although I am working on brown, but like a darker brown on here. But we'll see how this first coat goes down, because what I was saying on the live part, it gets complicated, I have to remember what you said. Like that's basing glue, so I put that down, put a layer on like this. It's not going to be perfect, it's going to have lots of patchy gaps, as you can probably see, and then I'll get my basing spray. No, that's the basing. I'll get my layering spray, sorry, and it'll be just send it slightly crunchy sometimes, but put that on, and then I'll put another layer of this over the top of it, and then it gets that kind of silkier feel on top of the crunch. So that's what's going to happen next. I'm not too concerned about there being gaps at the moment, because that's what's going to happen. So it'll be a case of just build, build, build until eventually it's something like how I want it to look. So, but obviously it's best to let this dry before you start layering up. Otherwise it'll all just become a bit hard and crispy, and nobody wants hard and crispy, do they? Unless it's a chip. So there we go. So I'm going to now do those parts, work my way down there, get that first layer down, and then I will refilm. That's what I'm trying to think. I will come back in, put the layer spray on. I'll cover the canal for that, because that has a tendency to overshoot. So I'll put the layer spray on. I'm hoping tomorrow, like I said, it's going to be nice, so I can do the sleeper spray, and yeah, we'll see where we are. I'm getting to the point where I haven't got long left today to work on it, so we'll see where we are tomorrow as to whether I can get done. So thank you as ever, and I shall join the next part onto this. So for right now, it's a cut. Hi, so there has been a quick change of plan. I'm going to put this on tonight as just one video, mainly because I've seen the length for the clips. And I don't think anyone deserves to watch much longer than what it already is, you know. So the other thing is I wanted to show you something extra I've done. As you can now see, hopefully, it's all kind of filled in. Obviously, it's layer number one, as I stressed, it will be more. But what has actually happened, which I didn't show you what I was going to do, I suddenly had a thought. You know how I like my multi-tonals, my kind of different colours kind of showing through. I was thinking the turf I was putting down is quite dark, and the other kind of woodland scenics jar that I bought from Chester is like kind of coal dust kind of, you know, effect and colour, which I was going to mix in. But I'm very conscious that might not show up because of how dark the fine turf is against that. It might just look one dark kind of blobbed area. So then I thought, what have I got next door that could perhaps kind of break up the colour, mix in, be kind of what I'm looking for. And jarvis, I got some dark earth. Now this is what I used on the kind of the Diddle Squat Farm area where I put the mud car park in. I put this over the top of, I think it was green tissue paper, and I shredded some brown tissue, glued that down over the top, and then sprinkled this just so it gave it that kind of grass growing through darkness and a mix of colours, and I think it worked quite well in there. And I have had people sort of asking me how I created that. So what I thought was put the layer of the fine turf down, and I'll give you perhaps a little close up to end in a moment. I've put a very fine scattering of this all over the whole lot, so that at the minute it's drying, so it's very much work in progress, but it definitely stands out. It's definitely giving like a paler mud look amongst the darker. So I shall see how it dries. I shall put, as I said, the scattering spray on tomorrow. I might put another coat of that on first before I then put the coal dust on. So, because I do want some areas to not be as dark as others, even though the majority of it is running along train tracks. So I've been two minds at the moment, because the whole lot would give me that dirty industrial working look. But I'm also wondering whether to have just a slight bit of contrast, perhaps. So we shall see. We'll see how this dries. I'll give you a quick close-up now. So it's just literally been a matter of, fortunately had a full packet of this. So it's just been literally a matter of sprinkling it over the top. So let me show you how it looks. So as you can see, I mean, I haven't got all covered in. You can still see wood bud too. And it probably looks quite lighter than it is. I mean, you can see here the glue is still kind of absorbing, sucking in. It looks lighter than it does to the eye here, but that's kind of first layer. So it looks like it's got chocolate sprinkles on the top. It's like one giant cake. Anyway, so we'll see how this dries, but that's just to give you the latest update as to what you can see. I'm going to have to get the little Dyson on the canal. So when you see it tomorrow, when you see the dried version, you'll know it wasn't just obviously the fine turf, which a lot of you will work out, if not all of you. So that's just to let you know what I decided to do since. So yes, tonight I'm going to end this here. I'm going to join it all together, get it uploaded for you all, and then I'm going out for a well-earned darling. So I'm back filming tomorrow, and I'm hoping to get the aerosols out and do a bit of graffitiing on the tracks. The only sort that should be done, of course. So thank you so much, as always, for watching, and hashtag Team Water. It's approaching its last day tomorrow, so I really want to get as much done as I can now in this couple of days. And it's not going to be finished, I know that, but I'm hoping it can be somewhere near, sort of somewhere where all I've kind of got to do is the finer touches and a warm mural, which I'm trying to sort out at the moment. So thanks for watching, have a great night.